knew that SOC compliance was really important and going to be a question that I was going to get every single time on the sales side. First time doing it with EasyAudit, so I didn't really know what to expect. I'd been on the other side of the table looking at SOC 2 reports back in my days as an auditor, but I'd never actually gone through the process. I did look at a couple other providers. I looked at Vanta. I looked at doing it like the old-fashioned way. But there was something that you were talking about that was really helpful to me. And honestly, from a time commitment perspective, it was significantly less than I was expecting. I would definitely recommend you guys because I think you're straight shooters. Hey Christian, how's it going, man?
It's going well. Thanks for asking, man. Good morning. How are you?
Good. Good to see you. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. I'm sure a ton has happened since we last spoke, but for today, all I wanted to do was just have a quick chat about how your experience has been with EasyAudit. I know we accomplished the SOC 2 Type 1 for Finsider in less than a month, I believe, which we're pretty proud of.
Absolutely.
First question for you. What was happening at the company when you realized you needed to be SOC 2 compliant? Was there something specific that triggered it at Finsider?
Yeah, absolutely. So being a financial analysis platform and being a CPA myself, I've looked into a lot of companies, and I know that's really important to other CPAs doing the type of work that I have done and was doing. So I knew that was a big part of our roadmap, is getting the trust there in place for our end consumer. So I knew that SOC compliance was really important and going to be a question that I was going to get every single time on the sales side.
Remind us, what clients are you selling to? And you don't have to name them, of course, but like what kind of ICP does Finsider target?
Yeah, so primarily CPAs, especially those doing transaction advisory or M&A type of work. So a lot of highly confidential financial information that you're looking into at a very rapid speed, which is what Finsider looks to solve. So having the trust and the compliance and the confidentiality and the security related to that is really important. We also sell through to a good number of fractional CFOs and auditors and those sorts of things.
Got it. Yeah, I know the whole financial ecosystem is pretty strict and rigorous when it comes to compliance and data security. So that makes a lot of sense. We've got some other kind of fintech clients that are pretty serious about it, as they should be. I mean, I think it's the most regulated space in the world, finance. So it makes sense. Had you already gone through SOC 2 before in a previous company, or was it your first time doing it with EasyAudit?
First time doing it with EasyAudit, so I didn't really know what to expect. I'd been on the other side of the table looking at SOC 2 reports back in my days as an auditor, but I'd never actually gone through the process of doing a SOC 2 audit. So I'm somewhat familiar with controls and how to do these things, but I didn't know exactly what to expect.
That was going to be my next question, is what were your ideas around SOC 2 beforehand? Did you have any preconceived notions on how the process typically goes? Any fears, doubts, uncertainties? What did that look like?
I'd say a whole lot of uncertainties more than anything else, less so than fears or doubts. So I'd say mostly uncertainties around I had no idea what it took to be SOC compliant and what I would need to do from a technical aspect. So I kind of understood the controls and some of the user access types of things just from reading other reports, but I didn't know, what are we going to need to do around our database and things like that to be, fully compliant and understand the technical aspect of it.
Makes total sense. And so when you went out to the market to go and search for a solution for SOC 2, and you don't have to name them, but did you look at multiple vendors when you were looking at a solution? And if you did, I guess the follow-up is, what was it that made you choose EasyAudit?
Yeah, I did look at a couple other providers. I looked at Vanta. I looked at doing it the old-fashioned way. I forget exactly which post, but there was something that you were talking about that was really helpful to me. I tried to do the same thing in the CPA community. So I think leading with content and trust is always really important for similar, types of sales cycles, right? Where it's very trust-based. So, I remember I initially reached out to you on LinkedIn, and then you were incredibly responsive and helpful before we even got going. So that was a really good, vote of confidence for me, where I knew I would need some handholding, just having never done this before. And you were someone who answered the questions and, got me pretty confident in what would, take place before we even started. So that was really kind of what sold me on you guys.
Perfect. And so let's fast forward then. After you sign up with us, We onboard you, we go through the process, SOC 2 reports issued in less than 4 weeks. Did the process itself take up a lot of your personal time as we prepared you for the audit? How was that experience overall?
It definitely took up some time, but it was a good division of labor where I could do the SOC compliance, even being a non-technical person myself, and my CTO and my engineering team could continue to kind of focus on, growing the product, which has really been our focus up to this point still, just because it's such a big product that we're making. And so it was really good where myself as a non-technical person could do it all without much need, from their side. So that was really helpful, right? I could do all the things I needed to in Azure, and you guys made it pretty easy for me to figure that piece out, even as kind of, again, like a non-engineer. So that was really helpful for me to be able to do it, pretty effectively. And honestly, from a time commitment perspective, it was significantly less than I was expecting.
Awesome. No, I'm glad to hear that. What did it do for the business to be able to say that you're now SOC 2 compliant? Did you notice any tangible outcomes from it?
Honestly, I didn't, just because, it's really kind of just the baseline expectation. So, it's more of just like a check the box, right? Like if you didn't have that, that would be an issue, but it's not like a, differentiator to have it, I think, just in the space that I'm in specifically.
Perfect. And so, last question for you. Any advice you'd give to other founders getting into SOC 2 for the first time? If your buddy tapped your shoulder at the bar and was like, hey man, I got to do this SOC 2 thing, what do you think I should do? What would you tell him?
I would definitely recommend you guys because, I think you're straight shooters. You were helpful also in determining which frameworks I do and don't need and when we would need them. And I felt like, you had the opportunity to potentially upsell us, right, on some of the frameworks, and you're like, well, you probably don't need that until you actually get your first European client or things like that, right? So I just think in terms of partnering on the compliance aspect, you guys really had kind of the service in addition to the software and all the other components that were pretty high tech. So I know I've already recommended you to a few people, and we'll definitely continue to do so.
Appreciate that, Mitch. Yeah, those are really all the questions I had. I'm glad you're appreciate the concise and direct responses. Any other remarks from your side? I'm not going to take up too much of your time here, but that's really all I had.
No, I think that's it. I'm excited to continue the journey. We still got some growth to do on our side as a product and a company, and we'll probably be diving into more frameworks here soon.
Amazing, Mitch. Enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
You too, Chris. Good to see you.
Take care. Bye.
See you.